Do you know what I used to think when I was a kid? I thought my parents had everything figured out. I thought they knew exactly what they were doing. I thought they were confident. I thought they never doubted themselves. I thought they had all the answers. And then I got older, and I discovered something that completely changed the way I looked at my parents. I remember being a kid and seeing my dad sitting quietly at the kitchen table one night. Nothing seemed wrong. Nobody was arguing. Nobody was upset. He was just sitting there, thinking. And honestly, I never thought that much about it, because when you're a kid, you don't. See, you assume adults are adults. You assume parents know what they're doing. You assume they have some secret understanding of life that kids haven't unlocked yet. At least I did. I thought adults had reached the finish line. I thought they had all the answers. I thought they knew exactly what was going to happen next. Then life did something funny. See, I became an adult. And suddenly I realized something nobody had ever told me. Most adults are just figuring it out one day at a time. I know that sounds obvious, right? It should be obvious. But when you're young, it doesn't feel obvious at all. When you're young, your parents seem larger than life. They're the people who fix things. They're the people who solve problems. They're the people who make everything feel safe. So naturally, you start believing they're different, stronger, smarter, more certain. But the older I got, the more I started noticing things I never noticed before. I noticed moments when my parents seemed worried. I noticed moments when they looked tired. I noticed moments when they didn't immediately have an answer. I noticed moments when they were carrying something heavy that nobody else could see. And that's when everything started changing, because I began realizing something. My parents weren't reading the answers from the back of the book. They weren't following a secret map. They weren't living life with some instruction manual hidden in a drawer somewhere. They were figuring it out too. One decision at a time, one challenge at a time, one day at a time. And somehow that realization didn't make me respect them less, though. Made me respect them more. Because it's easy to admire someone when you think everything comes naturally to them. It's different when you realize they struggle too. It's different when they realize they were scared too. It's different when you realize they had doubts too. It's different when you realize they kept moving forward anyway. I think one of the strangest things about getting older is discovering how much your parents protected you from. Bills you never knew existed, stress you never saw, sleepless nights you never noticed, worries they never talked about. And somehow they carried all of it while still trying to make your life feel safe. Think about that for a second. While you were riding your bike, they were worried about the future. While you were laughing with your friends, they were trying to solve problems. While you were sleeping peacefully, they were laying awake thinking about things you didn't even know existed. And they did it because they loved you. Not because they had to, because they wanted to. And then one day, something happened that completely changed the way I view all of it now. I became a dad. And suddenly everything looked different, right? I remember one night after everybody had gone to sleep, the house was quiet, the toys were put away, the TV was off, the noise was gone. And there I was, sitting alone in my thoughts, thinking about the future, thinking about responsibilities, thinking about the decisions that had to be made, thinking about how quickly life was moving, and the people I love most in the world. And then it hit me. This is what my parents were doing. This is what I never saw. This is what I never understood. I wasn't looking at my parents anymore. I had become the person sitting at the table now. And honestly, because for the first time in my life, I understood they weren't superheroes. They were people. People carrying responsibilities, trying their best, making mistakes, hoping they were doing enough. Wondering they were getting it right, just like I do right now. And kids, if you're watching this someday, I want you to hear me carefully. One day you'll probably realize I didn't have everything figured out either. One day you'll probably see mistakes I made. One day you'll probably understand there were things I worried about that I never talked about. One day you'll realize there were moments when I wasn't sure what the right answer was. And honestly, that's okay. See, because life was never about having all the answers. It was never about being perfect. It was never about getting everything right. Life is about showing up. It's about trying, about learning, about growing. Life is about loving people enough to keep going, even when you're unsure. And if one day you find yourself sitting alone with your thoughts, worrying about the future, wondering if you're doing enough, wondering if you're getting it right, I hope you remember this video. I hope you remember that you're not supposed to have all the answers. Most people don't. Most people are figuring it out one day at a time. Just like your grandparents did. Just like I am. And maybe one day you'll understand something that took me years to learn. The strongest people aren't the people who have life figured out. The strongest people are the ones who keep showing up while they're still figuring it out. And if there's one thing I hope you remember about your dad someday, it isn't that I was perfect. It isn't that I always knew what I was doing. It isn't that I had all the answers. The most important thing is that I loved you enough to keep trying again and again and again every single day. Just like my parents did for me. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment, leave your thoughts below. I love reading the comments. Thank you for watching.